Washington, D.C., July 2026. The nation's capital was bracing for the Mubadala DC Open. A star-studded field had been assembled. Defending champion Leylah Fernandez, 2019 champion Jessica Pegula, world number 10 Alina Svitolina, four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka, and Australian Open winner Madison Keys. The tournament organizers had done everything right, but they never expected this. The moment the tournament announced Alex Eala's participation, everything changed. The phones at the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center started ringing off the hook. Ticket sales exploded. The Filipino community across the East Coast mobilized. The Eala Mania that had swept Wimbledon had now crossed the Atlantic. And then came the announcement that would break the internet. The Dream Team was reuniting. Venus Williams and Alex Eala were locked in for doubles in D.C. The video of their practice session together amassed more than 50,000 views and over 2,000 likes within 5 hours. Fans were desperate to see the duo that had reached the Bad Homburg Open quarterfinals. The demand was so overwhelming that the tournament faced an unprecedented dilemma. The venue was too small. The capacity was too limited. The organizers had to make a choice that no tournament had ever had to make before. They increased ticket prices. For the first time in the tournament's history, a player's arrival had forced the organizers to change their pricing strategy. The city was left stunned. The tennis world was shocked. And Alex Eala had proven once again that she was not just a player, she was a phenomenon. This is the story of how Eala Mania exploded in Washington and forced the DC Open to change its rules. Welcome to RallyVerse. The tournament organizers had assembled a star-studded field. Defending champion Leylah Fernandez, world number 10 Alina Svitolina, four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka, and Australian Open winner Madison Keys were all confirmed. It was supposed to be just another WTA 500 event. But the moment the tournament announced Alex Eala's participation, everything changed. The phones started ringing. Ticket sales exploded. The Filipino community across the East Coast mobilized. They had followed her journey from the cracked courts of Quezon City to the pristine lawns of Wimbledon. They had stayed up until midnight to watch her matches. They had organized watch parties across the continent. And now, they were finally going to see her in person. But the most electrifying announcement was yet to come. The Mubadala DC Open dropped a bombshell that would break the internet. The Dream Team was reuniting. Venus Williams and Alex Eala were locked in for doubles in D.C. The tournament posted on social media, Dream Team. Venus Williams Alex Eala are locked in for doubles in D.C. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. The video of Eala and Williams training together amassed more than 50,000 views and over 2,000 likes within just 5 hours of being published. Fans were desperate to see the duo that had captured hearts at Bad Homburg. Eala had called it an incredible experience, describing Williams as having such a special work ethic and such a special mindset. The demand was so massive that the tournament faced an unprecedented dilemma. The venue was too small. The capacity was too limited. And the organizers had to make a choice that no tournament had ever had to make before. The situation was unprecedented. A WTA 500 tournament, expecting a solid but standard crowd, was suddenly facing a tidal wave of demand. The Filipino community had mobilized like never before. They came from Maryland, from Virginia, from all across the East Coast. They were ready to pack the stadium. The organizers had to make a choice. Expand the seating? Impossible. The William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center had a fixed capacity. Add more sessions? Already planned. There was only one solution left. They increased ticket prices. For the first time in the tournament's history, a player's arrival had forced the organizers to change their pricing strategy. The city was left stunned. The tennis world was shocked. And Alex Eala had proven once again that she was not just a player. She was a phenomenon. Former U.S. Open champion Andy Roddick had predicted this. Eala Mania is fun, he said on his podcast. Imagine, wherever you live, whatever the biggest venue is closest to you, imagine having watch parties for a fourth-round match at Wimbledon and having no room. I am here for Eala Mania. It's great for tennis. But Roddick's words went deeper. This is a movement she is single-handedly creating, a movement of a sect of tennis fandom that largely didn't exist a couple of years ago. The ticket price increase was the ultimate proof of that movement. Eala wasn't just a player. She was a catalyst. She was the reason why tens of thousands of Filipinos were suddenly interested in a tournament they had never heard of before. And she hadn't even played a single match yet. If Eala's singles entry was enough to drive ticket sales, The announcement that she would reunite with Venus Williams sent the demand through the roof. The two had first partnered at the Bad Homburg Open in Germany, reaching the quarterfinals before bowing out to Olivia Nichols and Teresa Mihalikova. But the chemistry was undeniable. Williams, the 14-time Grand Slam doubles champion, had described Eala as the best partner. Eala had spoken of the experience with awe. "It was an incredible experience for me," Eala said of playing alongside Williams. "Venus has such a special work ethic and such a special mindset, and for who she is so down-to-earth. So I just took that week to absorb everything I could absorb and learn from her." The partnership was about more than just winning matches. It was about learning from one of the greatest players in history. "Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I'd have the privilege of competing alongside you on court," Eala had written on Instagram. The Mubadala DC Open doubles draw would feature 18 Grand Slam doubles and mixed doubles champions across both the ATP and WTA tours. But the Dream Team was the headline act. Fans were already lining up for tickets, and the organizers were watching. Washington had never seen anything like it. The Filipino community in the DMV area had mobilized with a passion that stunned even the veteran tennis journalists. They wore Philippine flags, brought homemade banners, and cheered with a love that Eala had felt in Melbourne, in London, in New York. The fact that everyone came out and really squeezed into that cozy court. "I really appreciate it," Eala had said during the Australian Open. "I felt so loved. Even when I was 5-2 down in the third, I still felt the love. So I'm really appreciative and super thankful." The support had only grown since then. The Wimbledon run had catapulted her into superstardom. She had become the first Filipino singles player to be seeded at a Grand Slam, the first to reach the fourth round. She had defeated the defending champion on center court. She had saved 2 set points and silenced a crowd of 15,000. And now she was in Washington. "I promise to continue to represent the Philippines in the best way that I possibly can," she had said at Malacanang Palace Citation. She was keeping that promise. The Mubadala DC Open had just witnessed something unprecedented. A player's arrival had forced the tournament to increase ticket prices. The city had been left speechless. The tennis world had been shocked. But for Alex Eala, this was just another day in a journey that had already defied every expectation. From the cracked courts of Quezon City to world number 28. From being a 13-year-old girl alone in Spain to a national hero celebrated by presidents and adored by millions. From being told she couldn't do it to standing on the brink of Grand Slam glory. Andy Roddick had captured it perfectly. "Listen, it was a fun story when she broke out in Miami. We wanted more of it. But she's top 30, beating higher-ranked players at majors. So it went from a fun story to a very real story and a phenomenon." The ticket price increase in Washington was proof of that phenomenon. It was proof that Alex Eala was more than just a tennis player. She was a movement that had captured the hearts of millions and forced the city to take notice. Laban lang. Always. And remember, on RallyVerse, we bring you the stories that define the sport. The drama, the explosions, the moments that change everything. Stay tuned for more.